and he joins us. It's Ricki Taiaroa. Ricki, welcome to the show. Could you introduce your company to our listeners, please?
Yeah, sure. Teddy is a rapid grocery and alcohol delivery service for when you've run out of meat for a barbecue, maybe you need a few beers. Actually looking outside, perfect for today with Auckland's weather if you don't want to deal with the supermarket car park. Customers use our super fast app and we deliver really quick, 30 minutes, and our pricing is comparable to a small format supermarket like a Four Square. They're much cheaper than Uber Eats, a dairy or a service station. And we're in Auckland, Christchurch and Queenstown. Are you there? Sorry, I seem to have lost you.
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. My apologies. I should turn my own mic on. So you are basically more expensive than a Pack and Save, but not as expensive as what? A Super Value or a Four Square or an IGA?
We're probably comparable to a Four Square or an IGA, but we deliver to your door.
Okay. So do a lot of other people as well, but the difference is, well, the New Worlds and things like that, and the countdowns. But Teddy, you're different in two respects, it seems to me. You've actually created a business model based upon artificial intelligence. Is that right?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So there are a few things. I think fundamentally we think to do rapid delivery economically, you need a different structure, a different model, a different sort of cost basis. So we have seen overseas, others have tried to raise, 80, 100, hundreds of millions of dollars and offer things like 10-minute delivery. We just think that doesn't necessarily suit. We don't think consumers in New Zealand are asking for that, and we also don't think that, commercially, that makes any sense. Yeah. The other side to tackle is the cost side, and we're using, I guess, AI to reduce our cost basis from a technology perspective, and also just to dramatically improve the digital experience for customers.
Okay. Now, Auckland, Christchurch, you said, and Queenstown. I'm assuming your customers would be a bit more upmarket, yeah? So you're sort of looking at middle class, upper middle class in terms of customers.
Typically, but there is a range. We have done initiatives such as offering $1 bread and $2 bread and $1 milk. We also do things like frozen meat and other sort of value skewed options. So we're doing things like that help us manage wastage and provide sort of value-oriented products for customers. But yeah, typically you're right, upper middle, digitally savvy customers.
Yeah, because, your average housewife or husband is going to be going to Pack and Save and trying to buy the specials today. Nevertheless, I'm interested in where you source your funds, your groceries from. Do you get them from wholesalers, or do you have to do some sort of negotiation with mainline retailers?
Yeah, there's a little bit of both. I think we're sourcing around, they call it 40 to 50% of our current inventory direct, and that's going out there, hustling, talking to local Kiwi suppliers, and getting those on the platform. Beyond that, we do go through traditional wholesale channels. To be honest, though, the wholesale infrastructure in New Zealand isn't mature or fit for purpose yet. We're confident that it will get there, but that the wholesale option for what we're trying to do is very difficult.
So in many ways, you're a convenience operator rather than a price operator, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Right. Okay. Now, I'm interested in how you use artificial intelligence to do what you do. How does that apply to your business and to your business model?
Yeah, sure. So there are actually a number of ways we're currently using it. I'll give an example, but we've got a handful. I think one is our recommendations algorithm. So when you're on our app and you add mince and spaghetti to your cart, we'll ask you if you're making spaghetti bolognese and suggest canned tomatoes, a jar of sauce, onions, etc. That's all ChatGPT powered, and previously that would have cost, call it hundreds of thousands of dollars. You would have needed a team of data scientists to be able to do things like that. So there are things like that improve customer experience, they drive higher basket size, so higher purchases, and improve customer experience and retention. So there's a bunch of stuff we're doing there on the customer experience side that we're only just starting to scratch the surface. But there's also back-end warehouse functions, and on the tech side, it also improves our ability to do the work of additional developers that we simply don't have the funds to be able to hire ourselves.
Auckland, Queenstown, Christchurch, obviously, I can understand Auckland. I understand Christchurch. I don't get Queenstown. Why Queenstown?
Yeah, and that's a function of our history. So my brother, one of our co-founders, was running a restaurant delivery service in Queenstown called Food on Queue. As and I, the other co-founders, we're sort of more corporate digital guys looking to do something innovative and cutting edge. So by building on the delivery smarts that we're already doing on the service that we already had in Queenstown, that we managed to make profitable, we were able to use Queenstown as a springboard for what we've been able to do in Christchurch and Queenstown. So we started the business in essence out of Queenstown.
Yeah, and I've also noticed in Auckland, for example, the further away you are from sort of Newmarket, it seems, the longer it takes you. Yeah. So is that because you're based in Newmarket?
Yeah, we're based in Grafton. So to be able to scale cost effectively, like I think the lessons we've learned from those trying to do this overseas who have ploughed in all of that money and failed is that if you don't grow cost effectively and find really economic ways to scale the model, then it won't work. So I think for us, playing with delivery times and delivering that in a way like we deliver a bunch of customers on the North Shore for 2 hours, and for most Kiwis, 2 hours is fine. So that's been really about driving cost-effective scale.
Right. Now, and finally, what are your problems in terms of delivery? I mean, it's essentially you're a delivery operation. What are the issues you have in Auckland, Christchurch, Queenstown? Because they're three quite different cultures, I would have thought.
They're different cultures, and from a go-to-market perspective, we do have to adapt. In Christchurch and Queenstown, we've probably seen a little more price sensitivity than we do in Auckland.
Okay.
I think the type of customer that you described earlier, in terms of that sort of upper middle family, young families, etc. So those are a lot easier to find in Auckland. So we are certainly getting more traction and cut through in Auckland. But these are useful skills for us to learn in terms of how do we scale the model and be multi-city, as well as how do we make sure that the service is right for different types of customers.
And finally, I'm assuming that when you use artificial intelligence, it's really interesting that you are using AI, because at some stage there's still a human discernment required when you get an answer to a question or you're posing a particular issue to it. Do you find that it's made some errors and you've had to correct those from a human perspective?
It certainly does make some errors. I think we are we've got to operate in a fairly constrained space, and from a customer experience and recommendations perspective, it is simply just offering products. We think if you take my spaghetti bolognese example, if that mistakenly served you up an ice cream or some cat food, etc., it will make a mistake every now and again, and we think customers are smart enough to acknowledge that. Over time, and we're seeing it weekly, we're seeing new innovations where the quality of those recommendations and the relevance is improving week on week. So yes, there is a human element required to nudge the model in the right direction, but the improvements we're seeing are dramatic. All
right. Okay. Thank you. Nice to talk to you. Teddy.nz, I think, is the place to go to. Is that right?
That's it.
Okay. Good on you. Nice to talk to you, Ricki, and best of luck to you. All right. There you go. Wasn't quite what I thought, to be honest with you.